Tonight we are going to be having a nice time together, mapping the resources of another country in Africa, the beloved motherland. Gospel, how are you? How has your day been? Welcome to the Mentor Show. Let me pause this and have my intro. Yeah, we're ready to go.
I'm Dr. Olusola Ajide, your host on the Mentorship.
Hi, Karen.
We inspire you, help you reinvent yourself, and to make a positive
Karen, how
impact
has your
in
day
your
been?
community, in your country,
How is family?
and on
How's
your
Brother
continent.
Dosa
We mentor people
and
across
Ibinosa?
Africa. We bring you guests with inspiring life stories who are themselves transformation agents, making a positive change in their profession and nations. Subscribe to the African Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the Mentor Show. Today, again, we're looking at, you know how it is on this show. I'm your host, Dr. Olusola Ajide. And on the Mentor Show, we normally help you, bring you inspiration of how to. Excellent, Karen, excellent. So we bring you inspiration of how to continue to live a positive life. And also on the Mentor Show, we help you break down limiting beliefs and to pivot to the next level by breaking down every limiting belief and making you to go to the next phase to become better version of yourself. All of us actually can become better version of ourselves. That's what I aim at, and I guess that's what our desire for you as a person. And if something we do is helping you make impact, you see, you can make impact. You can make impact by discovering why you were born. And there are problems you were born to solve as a person. So discovering that impact of why you were born and beginning to solve that problem. It's on this show we give you tips and ideas of how to go for it, how to head on to begin to solve problems all around, which are very prevalent. So we bring you guests who are trailblazers. However, we also intersperse those guests we bring you on the show, looking at the continent of Africa, the nations in the continent of Africa, and mapping the resources. That is to say, looking at the natural resources that are available on the continent, in these countries. Now, this opportunity or this mapping will help you as a person to look at, perhaps you might develop interest in investments in those areas or in those countries or in those natural resources, which will help you economically to pivot to the next level. Or alternatively, we look at the problems that are inherent, that are available in those countries. Looking at the problems that are available in those countries on the continent of Africa would help you open your eyes to see, to discover the problem you were born to solve. It helps you to discover the problem you were born to solve. And today, we are mapping the 11th nation. We are mapping the 11th nation on the continent of Africa. We have, if you go through my timeline on Instagram or on Facebook, you will see that we have mapped Algeria, Angola, Benin Republic, Botswana. We've mapped Burkina Faso. We've mapped Burundi. We've mapped Cameroon, Cape Verde. We've mapped Central African Republic. We've mapped Chad, which is number 10 nation. And today, we are mapping the Comoros Island. The Comoros Island, with the capital city being Moroni. We are mapping the Comoros Island today. That's what we are mapping. So we'll be looking at the nation of Comoros, the nation of Comoros, and trying to look at what are the opportunities in the nation of Comoros, what are the challenges in the nation of Comoros, and how can you, by looking at Comoros, discover yourself? How can you, by looking at Comoros, discover what you are born to achieve and born to the problem you're going to solve in your own country? If you think that, oh, Comoros is not my country. However, some of these problems we've been looking at in all these nations are prevalent. They are common to all. So there's no excuse of how or why you cannot discover the reason why you were born. So that's what we are going to be doing in the couple of minutes we are going to be spending together tonight. And I believe strongly it will be a wonderful time learning. You see, one of the things that this show coming your way every week and these nations we are mapping, in actual fact, is actually also educating me myself. I'm learning about these nations, learning about their peculiar situations, learning about their languages and about things. And that is part of education. That is part of becoming a new version of yourself. That you become a new version. You know what you've not known before. Because take it from me, what will make you successful is the knowledge you know. What will make you successful is the knowledge you know. Most people who are rich, who are billionaires or what, is because of the knowledge of what they know and what they did with that particular knowledge which they know. So that's very important. This knowledge that we are gaining together is helping us to pivot to the next level. It's helping us to all pivot to the next level. So tonight, it's going to be a good one, and I believe and I hope that most of our friends and most of our regular friends would join us even tonight as we take a deep dive into the country called Comoros. Yeah, so let's start with a broad knowledge about this country called Comoros. Now, the country called Comoros is a country located in East Africa. Is between the border. I don't have. Maybe I can share. Let's see. So if you want to know the location of Comoros, Comoros is located in between Madagascar and Mozambique. There's a group of islands in East Africa. It's just more in the, if you like, I think that might be called the Indian Ocean, if I'm correct. And that's just in between, between the East Africa. There we have this group of islands that are referred to as Comoros. Group of islands refers to as Comoros. And Comoros is, of recent, you remember that they celebrated their Independence Day, and we shared felicitation, as it were. Yeah, we shared felicitation. That's the flag of Comoros. It's you could see that flag of Comoros. We have yellow, white, red, and blue. That typifies the four islands that make up this particular country called Comoros. Is predominantly an Islamic nation, so you could see the Comoros. And Comoros, like I got to learn, is from the moon, the shape of the moon. which is what you see there, and the 4 stars signifying the 4 islands that make up that particular nation called Comoros. So it's quite a small nation of about 800,000 people, a little more above 800,000 in population as a nation. They are a little over 800,000. So, like this particular country, Comoros, they were colonized by France. And most of African nations in Africa, whichever country colonized them, is a predominant official language. So the official language in Comoros is French. French is the official language in this particular nation. So the four islands that make up this country is Ngazija, Mwali, Nzwani, and Moyet, if I'm correct. Yeah. So these are the four islands that make up Comoros. It's a very and like somebody mentioned, is that Mayotte actually, like somebody mentioned that in this particular nation, even though they are colonized by French and they speak French, but their culture and their way of life is more Swahilian, So it's more like when you have no Swahili, they speak French as their official language. Their way of life is more like the Swahili culture so apart from French, they also speak Arabic. So they speak Arabic in this particular nation, and they speak Arabic in this particular nation called Comoros, with the capital being Moroni. So predominantly Sunni Muslim nation. It's a predominantly Sunni nation as it is. Now, this country has, as part of this, we're talking about the natural resources, talking about what this nation has in abundance that could help them as a country that is, making that could maybe survive. The nation is predominantly a nation that is, because it's situated in the that region of East Africa, they have arable land. It is established that 45% of the land in the island of country is suitable for agriculture. So they have land that could help them to farm and do agriculture, and which is the biggest industry in the country. So agriculture is the mainstay of this particular nation. More than half of the Comoros nationals work in the agricultural sector. Can you get that? More than half work in the agricultural sector. And like I said earlier, like we look at other nations, that means if more than half work in the agricultural sector, you can imagine the opportunity in the agri sector. You can also imagine the challenges that are in that particular sector. There are challenges in the agri sector and there are opportunities in the agricultural sector. See, even though more than half of the nations are into agriculture, it is stated that there is extreme low productivity rate. And this is what we are seeing in every nation we've been looking at when it comes to the issue of agriculture. There's low productivity rate. And of course, you can imagine. Oh, sorry about that. I need to put on these lights. It's not serving me. So you can imagine the challenges that are there when you have predominantly population being in agriculture. You can imagine the challenge of subsistence farming. And in subsistence farming, you could see that what they will be using will be crude materials, isn't it? Crude materials that will be used for farming, cutlass, hoe, and all those things. So that in itself already is a challenge. So again, in this nation of Comoros, there is a need for mechanized farming, and that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for people in Africa to come up with mechanized farming that could be help scale up our agriculture on the continent of Africa. You see, to scale up on our agriculture on the continent of Africa. See, close to 60% of people who practice agriculture are small-time producers. 60% of the nation, they are small-time. These are small farmers, have small parcel of land where they grow crops and they rear animals. So they also use inefficient farming techniques that result in low productivity. Only 20% of the agricultural producers in Comoros Island do it on a large scale. 20%. Quite small. The large scale producers apply modern techniques in farming, but however, like we said, the challenges of the small scale farming is that there is a need for capacity, there's a need for mechanized farming, there's a need for materials, machines, equipment that could help this nation to pivot, to go to the next level when it comes to agriculture. So the crop largely farmed in Comoros Island. Good evening, Monyolua. The crop largely farmed on Comoros Island are banana, corn, rice, sweet potato, coconuts, pepper, coffee, sugarcane, jasmine, cloves, and vanilla. These are the materials that these are properly farmed in this country. And Comoros is one of the largest exporters of vanilla plant. I guess most of us that when you take ice cream or anything, they'll talk about vanilla flavor. So Comoros is one of the nations that largely exports this vanilla plant. The country also exports quantities of lang, which is used worldwide in manufacturing perfume. That is why this nation is called the perfume country, because of this lang that is exported, and that's why, which is used in perfume all over the world, and that's why they are called the perfume nation. So they have something working for them. Another resource that they have is water. Of course, because of the position, the water useful in fishing industry employs more than 4,000 people in the country. So they have expanse of land, of water, resources available to them, and which is, to have 4,500 people in the country employed as fishermen and of course maybe fisherwomen. However, the island lacks fish processing facilities. So as a result, the fish that they caught, the big fish companies is processed outside Comoros. So the country is constructing a tuna processing facility to boost the fishing industry. Despite the water resources, fishing is largely unexploited in Comoros. So that's an opportunity. That's a challenge and another opportunity. The forest has large unexploited forests as part of its natural resources. As a country, they have forests. They are old and indigenous to the island nation. So However, the forest also accommodate rare plant species which are endemic to this particular island, which are endemic to this particular island. Yeah. So we are looking at Comoros, and the current president, I did mention that, is Mr. Azali Assoumani, who came in to become the president of the nation since May 2016. He is on a 5-year term. That's the current president of this nation. The nation actually took their independence in 1975. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. So this nation, even though they've been existing, because they've been colonized for long, the British, this particular island, make up, is was first discovered in 1505. Was the Portuguese were the first to visit this nation, but it was French who colonized it starting in 1841. The French colonized this nation from 1841 until they gave in. The island were used for agriculture, and many of the crops were exported to other lands. So in 1975, some of the islands declared independence from France. So they got independence in 1975 from France. The island of Mayotte decided to keep their ties with France. So they seem to think that they are from not part of the many islands. So they have more ties with France. So like I told you, the size of the population, 800,000. And when you talk about the issue, the demography, and that's like every other nation in Africa, the demography of this nation, we have between the age of 0 and 14, 41%, 41.7%, which is huge. Because between the age of 15 and 64, we have 52%. However, if you escalate between the 15 and 24 and add to the 0 to 14, you will see that majority of the population, they are young people. And this is the bane of Africa. Africa is the new frontiers. We have young people coming. We have young people growing up in this continent. And there's a need, like you see, there's a need for development. Like we'll look again now at their educational system. There's a need for education for this teeming young population. Like we see in other countries that we have mapped, there's a need for education. Education in Comoros is mandatory between the ages of 6 and 16, yet a large portion of the population still receive little or no education at all. You see, illiteracy, high rate of illiteracy. Primary school lasts for 6 years, followed by 7 years of secondary school. However, given the country only has one university, most students seek higher education abroad. So Comoros attain an average of 2.85 years of schooling, leading to an adult literacy rate of around 75%. While under French rule from 1843 to next, while they were under Comoros based its education system after that of France, of course, because of their colonial masters. And this is the point we do make on this show. We need young people. You need to find out why you were born. Are you born to solve the problem of education on the continent of Africa? Are you passionate about education for young people? I'm passionate about education, of course. As a researcher, as a lecturer, I'm passionate about education. So, but are you also passionate about education? So if you are passionate about education, then what are you doing to help alleviate? If you say you're not from Comoros, The issue of education is cut across any nation that you come from. It's the same everywhere. It's the same everywhere. So around 320 primary and secondary schools were refurbished and remodeled. This is between 2005 and 2010, whereby they try to, because the dropout rates are high. Dropout rates in Comoros are high. Only 35% of students advancing to secondary school. 35%, that's huge. Although enrollment for primary school has improved, the transition to secondary school is only around 60%. So you see that there is challenge, there is opportunity. It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for you to discover why you were born. If why you were born is to solve the problem of education, to see how you can solve the problem of education in this country of Comoros or in your own country. Solving the problem of education, even in your own country, is crucial. It's very, very, very important. And that's why we come your way, to bring this information to your knowledge, to see how you can tackle these challenges that we have. Now, when it comes to the issue of the primary health in Comoros, there's a health challenge in Comoros. The health in Comoros continues to face public health problems, which is characteristic with every developing nation. After its independence in 1975, the French withdrew their medical teams, leaving the islands with rudimentary healthcare system. And that has not improved. Even till today, it has not improved. In 2010, the maternal mortality rate per 1,000 births for Comoros is 340. So if you have 100,000 births, you have 340 people, maybe parents dying. Wow. So the health problem in Comoros, the health system is also decrepit. The malaria is ubiquitous in this country, and whenever you have water, malaria is ubiquitous in the island, with 80 to 90% of the population said to be affected by the disease. Other prevalent maladies or problems in the nation is tuberculosis, leprosy, parasitic diseases. In 1989, actually, about half of all the children in 1 year, all children 1 year old or younger had been immunized against tuberculosis, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, and measles, and a proportion roughly compared to the rate of immunization among other states in sub-Saharan Africa. So you see that there is a challenge in the health situation in this nation. And like I keep saying, no government will help. You cannot depend on politicians to help. You, my friend, you were born to solve a problem. You, my friend, you are the solution to the problem in this nation, in your country. You were born to solve a particular problem, and that's why you need to find the problem you're born to solve and begin to solve the problem. Begin to solve the problem in your country. Begin to solve. Know why you were born, and begin to find, how can I solve this problem? How can I go about solving this particular problem which you were born to fix? In this particular nation, like because they are colonized by France, of course, the country, currency is the French franc. Yeah, that's the currency that is predominantly used in the country. So when you look at the nation, you will see that there's problem in the health sector, there's problem in the education sector. Of course, there's problem in the agriculture sector that we've seen. So if you now talk about the nation as a whole, there is a need to tackle the challenges that are available in the country of Comoros. So, Comoros is one of the world's poorest countries, since it's still based on subsistence agriculture, just like Benin Republic, which we have mapped also. Subsistence agriculture and fishing. So I believe strongly they've been living on aid, but see, Africa cannot survive, cannot develop if we continue to live on aid. We can't. We can't develop. And that's why you need to discover why you were born. I need to discover why I'm born. And we need to begin to fix it. We need to begin to fix it. So Comoros needs to be fixed. And the problems we have itemized in Comoros tonight about the healthcare sector. Good evening, Becky. The healthcare sector, the agriculture sector in Comoros, the health sector in Comoros needs to be fixed. Now, if it needs to be fixed, if you say, oh, I'm not from Comoros, yes, the country where you are from, the same problem arises or is applicable to the country where you are from. And you need to discover why you were born and begin to find a way of solving the problem of education in Africa, of health problem in Africa, of agricultural problem in Africa, because if a nation is subsistence farming, still using hoes, only 20% are mechanized farming. However, the resources or some of the things they are bringing out, the perfume, the lang from this nation goes to every part of the world, is being used, but the nation is still a poor nation. Despite the cassava, sweet potato, banana mountain, fried rice, and all those things. Much of the country's food is imported. Even though they raise chicken, goat, cattle, sheep, and all other things. So the point we're making here is that Comoros also, despite these challenges, needs to be developed. And no politician will develop a nation, my friend. It's you and I that must decide and determine of turning the tide, changing the situation in our countries and even in this country called Comoros. So the only thing they have is vanilla, essential oils, cloves, and copra, for which what they export. There are also sawmills and woodworking establishments. So you see that there is work to be done, my friend, about the continent of Africa. There's serious work that needs to be done for each and every nation. And any nation that you came from, that you represent, there is work to be done. I hope, as we've looked at Comoros today, it has helped you to discover. Lux Alim, good evening, how are you? So I hope, as we have looked at Comoros, we are mapping Comoros today, looking at the opportunities in Comoros and the challenges in Comoros, and asking the question, have you discovered why you were born? Were you born to solve the problem of education in Comoros or in your own country? Were you born to solve the problem of agriculture in Comoros or in your own country? Were you born to solve the problem of health in your country or in Comoros? Because each of us were born to solve a problem. Because this nation, Comoros, is one of the poorest countries in the world with high unemployment rate and low levels of education. And that's the point. Any nation where there's low levels of education, it's a problem. The nation cannot survive. So, it's important that we find how to solve this problem for this country of Comoros. All right. So I think I would like to end it there today. I told you the currency is Comoran franc, not French franc actually, sorry. It's Comoran franc that they use in the country. Of course, they have biodiversity and everything, but long and short, it's still a nation that is the poorest, among the poorest in the world. So there is need to find solution to this nation. Lux Alim, how are you doing? I've forgotten, I think you are from which country? Remind me again, where are you joining us from? I know we chatted some time ago when you joined online. Which nation are you joining us from? Which nation are you joining us from, Lux Alim? All right. I think I'll call it, that's all done for today. We'll come your way again with our next guests on the Mentor Show. Don't forget, we bring you guests and we are bringing this show that will help you to pivot to the next level, to go to the next level, because it's possible to develop, it's possible to become a better version of yourself. It's possible to attain new heights. It's possible to attain new heights in your economic life, in your physical life, in your health. It's possible to attain new heights in your personal development, your career, your family life. It's possible in your social network. It's possible to attain new life, new heights. And that's why we'll bring you these tips and all the other things you see on my page on personal development. Now, don't forget, have you registered for the conference coming up? I call it the conference. The Career Accelerator Workshop. You need, don't miss it. Don't miss this Career Accelerator Workshop for anything. Do not miss this Career Accelerator Workshop for anything. Whatever industry that you are operating in, you can still improve. You can go to the next, and this career workshop will help you to go to the next level. So please go to the link http://career accelerator workshop. Register. It's almost about a month now from today. God willing, God willing. So register for this workshop. You are going to gain a lot, and you appreciate that you are going to be able to use the knowledge gained to accelerate, to go to the next level, to move to the next level. So I hope you go and do that. And please share this flyer with your people. Share the news with whatever nation is going to be online. So whatever nation you are, maybe you are in the United States of America, or you are in South America, or you are in Australia, or you are in Asia, or you are in Europe, wherever you are in Africa, you can participate. It's going to be an online show. Only those who register will get the link for the, the 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 live event that we're going to be using. So please share the news, tell other people, and I sure hope that it will be a great blessing to you and your friends. So I'll see you again on our show, God willing, when we come your way again with our next guests. Thank you. Have a nice day and bye.